This is eDesign Lesson 3, setting up your basic page layout. This is going to go around the room pretty soon. These are the two covers that the artist at Herff Jones has suggested to us. We'll vote on the color and all that later. But the two fonts they suggest are Function, which is the text in the background and down the spine, and the numbers are a font called Square Serif. I've worked with Function many times. It works great in our book, and I have not worked with Square Serif yet, but I know it looks good on the cover. First, open up a page that you've already been working with. We need to wipe everything off. You won't be able to delete this until you unlock it. So anything that has that lock symbol on it, you need to go to Object, Unlock. Then select everything, Edit, Select All, Edit, Cut, leaving you with a plain background. You can file save occasionally, but there is an autosave version in eDesign that helps us briefly. Third symbol down says templates. Click it and click and drag over the one with the red line on the left. I'm actually going to delete this one. There we go. Just the one with the red line. You can close this drawer by pressing the arrows to get that out of your way. Speaking of getting stuff out of your way, click and drag these quote bars and columns over so we can work with this. First, start off by putting your eye line where you like it. It's usually upper third, lower third. Some of you might have two eye lines. I'm going to put mine approximately here. Then you're going to see squares represent where photos are going to go. Every photo needs a photo by, caption, headline, subheadline, and we'll get to those later. I always start with setting up my dominant picture first. It needs to be significantly bigger than any other picture on the spread. And when you set up your photos, do you see these gray squares? You want everything to stay within those gray squares. So I'm going to click two more over. Then I'm going to copy and paste, edit, copy, edit, paste. But you'll see that there are keyboard shortcuts. Control C is copy, Control V is paste. You can use whichever you'd like. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Zooming in and out is holding down on your keyboard control. Plus zooms in, minus zooms out, and 0 puts everything back into the screen. I'm going to zoom in a little bit to start placing my second picture. And again, I'm staying within those gray boxes. And between each picture, I'm placing one pica or one white square to evenly space them out. You're going to repeat this process until you have all of your pictures laid out. When you're finished, drag one of these photo buys over. Photo buys are right justified. That means they go on the bottom right of your pictures. And the last letter of the person's name who did the picture, for right now, just leave it as photo by name, needs to be at the very edge, lined up with the edge of that photo. Then every photo needs a caption, so I'm going to drag this one over. Captions should be as wide as your pictures, so I'm going to lengthen this one out, move it down. You can use the mouse, or I like to make little movements, so I'm using the arrow keys on my keyboard, and eventually it'll say caption goes here. You need to copy and paste the photo by and captions over and over again. Here's a trick. Select the photo by, hold down your shift key on your keyboard, hold down caption goes here. That's selecting both of those boxes now. Edit, copy, edit, paste. You can drag that over and make some adjustments. Again, keep your captions the same width. Now yours is going to look different than mine. You'll eventually go through and lay all of your pictures out. You can leave your headline here or move it later. For right now, just leave it as headline and subheadline goes here. This is an assignment next week. When you're done laying out all of your pictures, you need to decide where you're going to put your quote box. For some of you, a vertical quote box with a question and a bunch of answers is going to work for you. It's okay if your quote box goes through the eye line. You can use a quote box with pictures. You can use a quote bar without pictures. For my particular layout, the horizontal one works a little bit better. Once I get it about where I want it, I'll let go. And from here, I can make some adjustments. Maybe I want to make these pictures bigger or taller. This is just going to get me started. But here are the fonts again. We're using Function for the answers to quotes, questions. We're using function for the captions and the photo by, and we're using different sizes and versions of the square serif font for our question, headline, and subheadline. Keep repeating this process until your basic layout is finished. We're going to stay away from circles this year. That's not part of our theme. We'll talk about some of the diagonal theme graphics later on. I'll have that under mods for you. This is just a basic layout of where your pictures are going to go. When you're finished, you need to take this eye line and delete it. You can edit, cut it, or you can just drag it off to the edge of the page, leaving this eye line nice and open. When you're finished, just file, save, and then Beavers will grade it right there on the screen. We're not going to print today.